And I know I shouldn't have called it, so because we have to, at least in early childhood, you can't have the same name of a workshop within the school year, calendar year, because they think, I mean, I think you should take, if you like a workshop and you're really interested, you should be able to take it 15 different times, but they don't allow that. So
this could be different every 15 times.
Right, exactly. But I called it part 1, part 2, part 3. So I think
this is really part 2.
Right, and part 2 has to do with part 1, but you didn't have to be here for part 1.
Oh, that's what I was worried about.
Yes, and that's what I think a lot of people worried about. So I answered that question a lot. So I'm just going to call it something different every time.
Yeah.
So it
makes it easier.
Yes, because everybody's in a different place with their practice for mindfulness. I promise you, I'm at the starting line. I think I'm still like getting my track clothes on and trying to find my spikes for running in a straight line. But that's what I did. I ran in straight lines and half circles when I ran track. So I think I'm still there. I want to start by saying that I'm really glad everybody's here. I keep saying this. So the people like Emily and Kirsten who have been here, Kristen's been with me before, that we are going to, at some point, go to school in a building. It might not be in September. Oh gosh, I hope it is. If we all cross our fingers and toes. But we have to plan for being in a school, in a building at some point, and it's going back to normal, right? In quotation marks.
Right.
And we're going to have a lot of kids who are struggling. I mean, I already had kids who are struggling in school. Some of them are doing better at home. Some of them are doing worse at home. And when they get back to a building, I think we're all going to be having a really hard time with, oh my gosh, I got to get up, right? My hardest thing right now is I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get up at 6:15, where this morning we got up at 8:15. Like 6:15 and I have to be, at 8:15 I'm going to have Brennan at school and going to my job, and I have to be awake and look like a normal, regular person who puts on clothes every day.
We'll have to wear pants.
I know, we'll have to wear pants and brush our hair and I put on mascara the other day because I was taking a picture that counted, and I put on mascara and I was poked my eye because I haven't done it in so long. I was like, I forgot how to do this, which is terrible. So
I've been living in shorts, so I had to put pants on yesterday.
Right.
Weird.
Right, exactly. So I'm hoping are here to fill up our toolbox. I certainly am. I've always been the one that says, right, I'm going to do a workshop tonight for Child Care Center called Tools for Calming Children. And the way it usually looks is I'm giving you more tools than just take a deep breath, mindfulness and meditation and yoga. And I'm because I'm not good at those things. And so that was that's how I would have done that workshop maybe a month or two ago. And then I met Dawn and I'm like, you know what? We keep saying we're going to do hard things, right? We keep saying that in this whole, we're all in this together. We can all do hard things. I'm probably a little tired of hearing that. And I think we can do hard things. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is my chance. This is when I'm going to get good at mindfulness. I don't think I'm good at it yet, but I have figured out when I use it. So I don't know if anybody else sleeps when they go to sleep, either a nap. Anybody nap? I nap. I love napping. Yeah, right. Thank you, Christian. So you nap, or you wake up in the morning like this, and your heart goes a mile, and your head explodes, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And when I'm napping, I'm like, geez, I have 20 more minutes that I could rest my body. But now I'm in this fight, flight, or freeze panic mode. So I've used mindfulness, what I've learned from Dawn, the little bit that I know how to do now. I'm taking deep breaths, and I've gotten myself to calm down and go back to a restful state. And I had not been able to do that before. And it still keeps coming back up in those 20 minutes. I still have the sweaty armpits, heart attack piece. But then I can get myself to calm back down. And then I know okay, I'm not going to fall back asleep. I've already did the heart start 3 times. I'm just going to get up. But I figured out how to use the mindfulness in that little piece. Does anybody else want to share if how they've used it either in their life because this isn't their first practice, or how they've done it since the last time, or what they're looking to get out of this? That would probably be helpful just for everybody to, you don't have to talk. I'm not going to call on you like in school, because you can turn off your video and your voice and go away. Anybody want to share how they've used it differently? Yeah, Maria, I see you down there.
Sometimes, as a procrastinator, which we all have at different times of life, and now especially that we're home, you're like, oh, all right, I got another hour, I can do it. And then all of a sudden you look up and it's like you're doing other stupid things that you didn't have to do. And then you're like, okay, I need to take a breath and refocus. And sometimes that's hard to do.
So that's what you're using it for now, or that's what you're going to use it for to try to stay on track?
That's what I started to use it for now. Yeah, to stay on track, because I'm having a hard time with it.
Me too.
Yeah,
I have that hour. Like, okay, but we got to go downstairs. We got to eat in an hour. We got to do a little bit of work, and I always put too much in that hour.
Right.
That I'm never going to get done.
Right.
But then I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, look how cute that puppy is. He's so cute. Or a dad comes back from the military, and I'm like, oh, are there more of those? And then I click on the link, and then I watch that for an hour and cry. Yeah. Anybody else have how they're going to use it, or how they do use it, or what they think they need it for? Mine was to calm my squirrels. That's why I jumped in, because I have squirrels that live in my head. Anyone else?
Okay.
Oh, Emily.
I use it a little bit to stop the brain from running at night when I want to go to sleep. Because the brain keeps going and going and going.
Squirrels never get off the hamster wheel.
No, they don't.
Nope.
That's a tough one too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Which then makes you have to take a nap, which then makes you have to do it during nap time.
That's right.
Right? So it's like that cycle of like, I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So we were thinking for us that like with Liam, it might be something he could use when he's trying to fall asleep at night, or playing sports when you're under pressure and you gotta kind of calm.
Oh Lord, we can't hear you that well.
To do well. I try to use it in the mornings to like. Oh, huh.
Well, you sounded a little better.
If I move over here, my internet connection. Maybe we have to go downstairs.
Oh, you sound good now.
Okay.
Frozen.
I was just gonna say, like, I try to use it in the morning. Okay. Or can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
No. Okay. I try to use it in the mornings to just like set my mindset for the day and have a positive, calm day with my family. And I shared a couple of things about Liam using it. I don't know if you could hear me say that or not.
Well, tell me again about were you talking about sports? I liked that one.
Yeah, so the first one was trying to fall asleep, and then the second one was he loves to play sports, and using it in times when you're under pressure, if you're playing baseball and you're up at bat, or you're pitching, and you can use it to kind of calm yourself down so that you can do well.
Yeah.
Liam, do you think you also might use it for when, so I also am an athlete and played a lot of sports, and I was not, I didn't like to lose. Usually if you're really into sports, you don't like to lose. Liam, do you agree? You don't like to lose, right? Why play a game if you're going to lose? And so I didn't use it so much, but I would have liked to have known it then not to be fresh or a poor loser. Right? You don't want to be a bad loser because you get talked to by your coaches, you look like a bad sport. And as you grow up, there's not going to be any room for that sort of stuff. So are you competitive, buddy? In sports? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right? It makes you try really hard, but it also makes it really hard when you lose. And I have a cousin who was really good at hockey, and he used to hate to tie. He's like, then there's no winner or lose. I don't know how to feel. Like, am I happy because we didn't lose? Am I sad because we didn't win? I don't even know what to do. So he needed it for when he tied, actually, not when he won or lost. He didn't like the middle piece of like not knowing what to do when you tie. Anybody else?
Last flag football season, we didn't even have a single win.
Oh, right.
Every single game.
That's kind of stressful.
Even practice game.
And
And me and
other.
my friend were the only good players on that team.
Oh.
Well, there was also an on the team who was pretty good.
That was going to be my question. Were you one of the good players on the team that always lost?
Yeah.
Whew, goodness, that is really hard. Because you want to say probably mean things like, get it together, right? I would want to. And I would need mindfulness to be like, they're trying the best they can. Saying that's not going to help them be better, right? So like, ooh, I get it, buddy. I get it. Being an athlete and being the good one on the bad team is really tricky.
So
And they all hard too.
if we're moving
My
on,
last thought I had is we also have a 3-year-old, and it could be really, really handy when he's pushing all our buttons.
Oh, yes.
yeah, that's even harder one.
Yes.
So just roughly, I'll give you my rundown. I've been meditating since '88. I started off in just general meditation, did Zen for about 12 years. And I've been doing a Tibetan version. I am Buddhist. Since 2003, I've been leading groups since 2005. We have to get permission from our teachers to lead. So I had 2 teachers that said, you should lead. And leading can be a practice in itself.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do it, Don.
Yeah.
That would be
I belong
disaster.
to 3 national organizations, all Buddhist. One, not so much Buddhist, but came up with a practice that I led in our last one for stress and burnout. Initially it was caregiver burnout. And then I was responsible to bring it to the education field, which I'm not getting a lot of response on the education side for some reason, but the ones that do attend really love it. So, and that's the spiel. I've been an educator for the last 15 years. I've bopped around a lot across the state because, like I said, last one hired, first one gone. I did 5 years at the Sununu Youth Service Center, which is YDC, as an educator and residential counselor. So you're talking about pushing buttons? I have a 17-year-old saying, you.
Right.
That was edited. And a little editing for that, our person. So I'm starting not to like the word meditation, and I don't like mindfulness because of the way we treat the word itself. Mindfulness has become so generic. Meditation always implies that it's religious or some connotation on it. Neither one are true, but it's just our perception on the language. Really what we're doing is being aware. And the awareness level is in different levels. In mindfulness, it tends to be just body scanning and mindful of our bodies and breathing and our mind state. And there's so many different ways to meditate. And that's why it's a little confusing because there's too much of it. It's like going to the grocery store and you're looking for candy and it's like, if you ever go to York, Maine, and not York, where the malls are.
Kittery.
And you go to Yummy's.
I know where the malls are.
You go to Yummy's candy store and it's a little place floor to
Oh
ceiling.
my gosh, it has so many candies.
Right. And you get overwhelmed when you go there. And that's what it is. The same thing with meditation. There's just so many, what do I do that works? So you really have to find different ones. So what I learned from one teacher, we can do a quick minute, minute two, and just find out what it's like to be aware. So I have my trusty bowl.
Are we starting?
We can stop.
Okay, well, just because I want to call my son over.
Oh, yeah, we're just doing a quick awareness.
Okay, well, that's right, yeah.
And then I'll talk about the other one and lead us into that one.
Okay.
There he is. He's in the back. Hey, you got a fresh haircut.
No. Yes. You can't. Oh man. When I take my head, can you hold on?
We can hear you.
Oh, unmute your speaker. Hold, sorry. If I take my thing out, Brendan can't hear it. And if I take my thing out, wait, unmute your speaker or increase the volume to hear other participants.
So while you're doing that, I'll talk.
Okay, good.
So you need to get comfortable. That's the one thing. Don't be strenuous. You don't have to, I'm sitting cross-legged. Well, one cross-legged. I'm old, so you really want to get, the vision I always think about is like a bird settling in their nest. You really want to wiggle in, kind of get comfortable, so you don't want to be uncomfortable when you do this. Same thing. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, just be comfortable. So, I don't know if Meg's ready. Are you ready?
I'm going to put myself on mute so I can tell Brennan what to do.
Okay.
Because if I unplug my thing, it doesn't work. I don't know why.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
So, I hope everyone's settling in. You can have your eyes open or closed, your preference. I just want you to be comfortable sitting, kind of feeling solid on your seat. That's why I want you to be able to find that center point. And let's start just taking a few deep breaths in, right to the base of your spine. You don't really see this, so we can grab really big bellies and release. So breathing in through the nose, filling up, and exhaling. One more time in. And release. And that's just to tell our sympathetic nervous system that, I'm going to relax now. So all I want you to do, I'm going to ring the bowl. I just want you to see if you can feel the sound and just listen to it. This is nice, by the way. Just noticing the traveling of the sound. So just coming back. So how was that? Could anyone just concentrate on the sound?
Mhm.
So as long as you could just focus on the sound, guess what? You can meditate. You can be mindful.
I did it! Oh, Liam, there you are. I was like, where'd Liam go? He was taking a nappy, laying down.
And see, sound meditation, I have a friend that does this solely as, she has a good collection of singing bowls. And we can use that, any sound. It doesn't have to be a bell, doesn't have to be a singing bowl, which is specialized. We can use just simple sounds. Um, the bell ringing in school, the kids in the playground at recess.
I use the ocean waves.
Ocean waves are
By
great.
the ocean. My son at night goes, Mommy, can you turn on ocean sounds? You want me to just open the window? Because we don't need to put it on YouTube.
I just had to yell at Alexa to turn off because the birds were going for my cats.
Oh.
So, but you can use any sound, and just what you're doing is, and you don't have the specific sound. Just rest in the sounds that are around you. You know, it's great if you can go out in nature. You have the beach, the woods, by a river. I mean, that's great because those are all really soothing. And I think we mentioned, I remember one of your talks, we were talking about being in nature and how soothing it is. I think it was getting out.
Yeah, going outside.
Going outside.
Leaving your house.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a day. But we're talking, and really, meditation, it happens a lot. There's, especially in sports, I used to tell my kids because they all like basketball, when you're in that zone, right, Liam? When you're just playing, you're just concentrating on the ball, right? He's muted.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, that was fast.
I know.
Right, just concentrating on like the ball, like catching it or kicking it or waiting for your turn, right? With some sort of ball.
Running it, whatever.
So that, in a way, is meditating when you're just playing the game. Unfortunately, you can't do that with Xbox and PlayStation because you block everything out. You're a little too focused, and it's not the same thing. We want to open our awareness of what's around us. And you want to just, basically what we're trying to is relax that thinking mind and not have those squirrels going as crazy. So.
Good luck, Emily.
Yeah. But there is another training. It's called SCT, Sustainable Compassion Training. I like the old name. The old name used to be Innate Love and Wisdom.
Oh, right. You had mentioned that before.
That is a nicer name. Now it's technical. So my teacher is a professor down in Boston College, has been doing this training. It does derive from Buddhism, but there is no religious content on it. I think Kirsten comes in. I run a daily, Monday through Friday, Zoom, and it's free. So, and we just explore different meditations. And the only reason I mentioned that I'm a practicing Buddhist is at least you know where I'm coming from. But I have practiced other meditations, and I really read a lot and study this. So and I was planning on telling you different books, but there's so much out there. I really like, if you really want to write things down, foundationforactivecompassion.org is a great website. They have a lot of recordings. That's one of the foundations I'm with. And it's going to be a lot of concentrating on this second meditation that I want to lead you guys in. For meditating for books, Awakening Through Love is John McCransky's book, and that's the basis of the the second practice I'm going to lead. There's just so much out there.
I was going to say
I-
something, Don, for
Yeah.
when you were talking about how the education, the educators and education hasn't jumped on board. I see that there's a lot of talk in schools about mindfulness and all this stuff, but they don't really dive in, right? Because I think we're so stuck in the Western side of medicine, and there's a child who maybe has ADHD or we think he or she does, or any of the thing, or trauma or any of this stuff, and right, mindfulness is one of the things that we can do that doesn't have a negative effect, right? There's medicine, and maybe some kids need medicine, but there's always side effects and negative effects to that. I had someone that yesterday asked me, can we do a brainstorming session, because I do something called human design, and she went through this whole thing, and I said, I don't know, I do a lot with temperaments. Almost everything I do starts with the temperament of the child, because I want to fill the toolbox specifically for the specific child. I said, I'm not sure what human design is. What is it? And she said, it has to do with astrology and Kabbalah and all this stuff. And I thought, the school is not going to go for that. She's like, I know, I'm trying to break into education. I was like, imagine coming in and being a behavior person and saying, I am going to do Kabbalah and astrology with you. And she had solid facts and skills and strategies, but we're so far on the Western side of medicine and teaching and everything that's so far on the Eastern medicine side that she's like, so right now I just do it with parents and in homes. And I said, well, that's probably a good place to start. And then you'll probably be brought into schools if it's working at home and that's what they want to be put in an IEP or a 504, or it's going to take a long time. And she said, are you willing to help me with it? And I was like, I think everybody on here knows me a little bit. I think that coming from me, that would probably be disingenuous. If I start going in and talking about Kabbalah and Hindu and astrology, like if I start saying that stuff, people are gonna be like, what happened to Meg? And I was like, and it's not that I don't believe it, but I'm still trying to figure out this mindfulness piece, and I'm not very good at it. So I was like, I appreciate what you're trying to do in reaching out. I think I'm probably the wrong person. And I think that I work in homes and in schools, but in schools, I think you have a long road ahead of you, because they want it to be, right? If I've been called Pollyanna, I've been called a Care Bear, I've been called so many things because I go in leading with love. And they talk about mindfulness, but I don't know, like Dawn said, it's very generic. They don't like actually practice in a classroom. I've never been in a classroom. Oh, they do some practice in a classroom, but it's pretty rare.
It's very rare on the East Coast.
Yes.
If we're in California, the mindfulness movement in schools are pretty big.
Maybe it's coming this way?
Well, there was one in Virginia that I know, Needham or Newton, one of the two in Massachusetts. The district has gone mindfulness. And I believe there was one in Maine. And the reason they're going through it, I mean, we've got so much scientific proof of what mindfulness and meditation does.
We have so much scientific proof on so much, like choosing love over choosing fear and behavior strategies, yet in play being the vehicle for learning for kids, and yet nobody reads the books or doesn't know they exist or can't afford them. I don't know what happened, but they're not reading the research.
We know it increases the neural synapses from firing. We know it decreases your stress level, which improves your immune system. And what I like about it, this part, you get less wrinkles.
Oh, I spend a lot of money on skincare, Dawn. I just have to do this.
Yes,
right.
You have to practice.
I'm going to tell Rowan and Fields.
And
you just need Dawn. You don't need.
Yeah. So there's some other things too. I mean, especially we know that the frontal lobes aren't developed until you're about 24, 25.
And I've heard some research, it's like 30-ish.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes depending on the mother's intakes and certain things.
Right, or the nurturing, right, or the trauma or something, sometimes they don't ever fully develop.
So this is what I used to use for my teen, the Mindful Teen.
Oh.
Really good book, kind of generic, but really great exercises. I do like Dan Harris. So this one's pretty good. Meditation for Fidgety and Skeptics.
Oh, I think that's me. I'm not a skeptic now, but I am fidgety.
This one, but it does have a Buddhist stance, is planting seeds, and it comes with a CD. This is done by Thich Nhat Hanh. So
I
those
like
are
CDs. I like CDs. Then I don't have to read. I could just
and
listen.
The Joy of Living by Mingyur Younger. And then you can go out and just the internet is exploding with things. And we're fortunate we do have groups in the area. There's a lot of different groups. I know there's one out in the Hampton area. There's Nashua, Manchester.
What group is in my area, Don?
So there's a Buddhist group out in the Portsmouth, Hampton area.
Oh, I did not know that. Why would I know that?
And of course, the Newmarket, there's Arya Loka. So there are a lot of groups. At one time in Concord, there used to be 13 different Buddhist groups. I think we're down to 5 now, but mine's the last. And we Zoom on Sunday mornings at 9:30. Just go to the FAC site if you're interested. Plug.
Do you usually meet in person, but because of the quarantine, it's on Zoom?
We did. We used to meet in a tattoo studio.
Yes, that's awesome.
Because my sister and her husband own a tattoo studio. That's why I'm inked. Mm-hmm. So now I think we're going to just Zoom. It's very convenient. So it
is very convenient.
And we're finding it doesn't affect meditating at all. So that gets me, what are we doing on time here?
Yeah, do we want to go? We went over last time, and so you want to start now so we can make sure we get all, do all the stuff we have to do and make sure people get out on time and don't get mad. Nobody got mad last time. Don't think that happened. But.
So what I need you to do is, what are we talking about to set up this next meditation? I call them benefactors. My teacher calls them benefactors. Benefactors are anyone we like being with. They make you feel happy and joyful. It doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a pet, could be a person that's living or deceased. It can be just a moment that it's overwhelming. Like I have visions of someone making me chocolate chip cookies and just, so you get that smell, or brownies. I'll put a plug for brownies.
Oh, I love brownies.
But right, you remember your mom making brownies, or your just someone making brownies and just sharing them with you. I also say, and this is a popular one with me, is going out with friends and having coffee or tea and just socializing, and you're feeling much better with that. Or you're playing, for like Liam, you're playing with your friends, you're playing ball, and those are moments of caring. Those are moments of people are showing you, that they, I'm trying to avoid the L word. They're just showing great, genuine caring for your well-being.
But why would you avoid the L word, though?
The L word's a tough word, especially when you get older, especially for guys.
Oh.
Because it's a loaded word. And if we're talking about unconditional love, we know a lot about conditional love. I love you if, or when. But in this aspect, it's totally unconditional love. Just being loved for who you are, just the way you are. And that's the purpose of benefactors. My first benefactor, and I'll talk about this because I think finding benefactors in our lives are really crucial, was my maternal grandmother, short French lady. We used to have Sunday dinners all at her house. She would cook dinner, and there'd be about 20 of us. And she would come in and you would come in and she'd have the big, oh, little Don, how are you? And brace you in this big hug and kiss. And it's like, okay, thanks, Meme. You know, but it's moments like that, you know, and I still, you know, I'll be 58 in a couple of weeks. And that still brings back the memories of her home, listening to the Red Sox. She loved baseball and just being there and just being, you know, just loved. It wasn't anything I did. It was just because it was me. But we can see those moments throughout our lives. Like if you drop something and someone picks it up for you, or opens the door and your hands are full. Even better yet, if they take something out of your hands and help you, those are all moments of expression of caring and love. We may not think it is love, but it is a deep sense of caring. And knowing, and if we're using it, because I know one person in here is, when they've done the exercise, it's someone who has passed. But being with that person and realizing that they're here just is an expression that they care for you deeply. And just being with them, because whether you're living or past, they're still in you. They're still part of you. So there's no reason, you know, you may miss them, but that's okay. Just be in that presence with them right now, like we're here right now. And I've used my pets. I've had lots of cats, but I've had cats that were friendlier than others. I also use a space. I was an artist in residence for 2 years at Canterbury Shaker Village, and I love being on the grounds because you just feel the calmness in the property, and it's so relaxing. So I would incorporate a lot of different things when I do this practice. So we ready? Everyone have at least a person or something that has shown a caring moment?
Yep.
Thumbs up, everyone. Okay. So get in your nest again. Get comfortable. So again, I'm just going to ring the bell to start. So again, just settle in with the sound. Quieting our bodies. Taking a few deep breaths. And just noticing how we're sitting. Noticing our seats supporting us, holding us up as our weight bears down on it. Allowing the muscles and joints in the body become soft. And really noticing the breath, the rise and fall of the tummy. And paying a little more attention to the out breath, noticing the releasing and the relaxing with each out breath. Feeling like we're sinking right into the support of our seat, feeling that groundedness of the earth below us. Just breathing. letting those squirrels relax, because squirrels do sleep. Really, we're just taking this time, like a little vacation, like laying on the beach, sun shining down on us, resting, relaxing. Feeling those muscles loosening up. Feeling the breath in the body, noticing what it feels like to breathe. The rocking of the body as we breathe. And as we're resting here, bring to mind your benefactors of the moment. This person that when you're with them, you just feel utterly happy. And noticing them smiling at you, noticing them being happy just to see you. Just like this is one of the benefactors, your puppy or dog, as you open the door, wagging its tail, jumping on you. That's an expression of deep caring for you, their happiness just for you. And just receive that radiance, that wish like a sun shining upon you, warming your skin, warming the muscles and the joints, warming with deep caring for just being with you. These benefactors wishing you to be happy and healthy. Warming right down to the marrow of your bones. Really feeling that radiance. Seeing it by their smiling face, your benefactors smiling at you. And maybe they did bring you brownies so you can smell it. And even taste it. And hearing their voices as they deeply gaze upon you, really radiating a deep sense of love for you. And just accept it. No matter what you think you deserve, accept that deep concern into those criticisms. And just accepting it like a thirsty sponge, absorbing it. And if you want, you can bring in more benefactors, just like we're at a picnic or a family reunion. Just all our friends, our benefactors surrounding you, holding your hand, patting your back, giving you hugs. And if you have any spiritual benefactors, you can bring them in. If it's a little vague, concentrate on one benefactor's face and just feel that radiance. noticing that they're seeing you, acknowledging you just for your goodness, just the way you are. Deeply steeping in this marinade of deep caring for you, a deep love, totally acknowledged. And if any thoughts arise, any worries, just let those be held in this deep sense of caring also. Being aware of what it feels like right now to be held in love, to be cared for, supported. And allowing this heart to open up, opening, radiating your caring self. You can even extend that caring to your benefactors. Just as we're receiving, we can send, creating this very intimate, supportive environment of love and compassion. Deeply held, safely. And really noticing the subtle layers of our body, allowing it to be saturated with this deep concern of love and compassion. I wish for you to be happy mentally, physically, spiritually. Them wishing you to be alleviating all your pain, worries, any other issues, and whatever causes those issues. And even allowing our feelings of fear, of anxiety, any issues that arise because of this pandemic, and just allowing them to be held, just like you being held in this vibration of loving and caring, just like you're a newborn baby, just being held, really feeling what it's like to be acknowledged, cared for. And absorbing that radiance right into your heart, letting your benefactors dissolve into light and absorb that right into your heart so that your heart blazes like a sun, lighting up your entire body, your cells being lit with deep sense of caring, deep sense of love and being loved. So just like the movement of the bell, noticing our movement as we move out of meditation, opening our eyes. So see, we have about 6 minutes if we want to share or have any questions. I rushed it towards the end. This meditation can go on a lot longer, like 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, I'd be in a good, nice nap by then, I think.
I
I don't know
yeah,
if I could close my eyes for 45 minutes and not fall asleep. I don't know if that's in me. I don't think I have that. The part for me that was really tricky is my eyes were closed and either my dog came up or my son went to move and I was like, don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes and look at him. Stay focused on Dawn. Stay, right? It was my squirrels when you said your squirrels are sleeping. So I like cartooned my squirrels, which they're cartoons anyway. And they were like taking a little rest in their little nest. And then they like went bing when I heard something and I was like, don't just. And that part was really hard for me to, and I did it. I kept my eyes closed the entire time and didn't like try to be distracted. But that was really hard for me to be like, is the dog here? Is something happening? Why is my son moving?
And see, in reality, you could have looked up. We're not about rigidness.
No, but that was my competitive piece being like, I have to attend here.
Right.
And I don't really need to be, right? I don't need, he's fine. He's 8.
Right.
So he can, but I had to. So that part was really tough.
Our main concern is to be present and not to be, that's why we wear comfortable clothes. That's why we sit comfortably.
Right.
Even with the distractions, it's okay to just open your eye. No one really says you can have to do this with your eyes closed. It's easier.
Oh, I can't even imagine having them open.
And
the sight distraction would be hard.
Yeah, but other meditations, our eyes are open and we just glance. And as long as you come back, that's okay. The one thing you got to remember is not being hard on yourself. You got to give yourself a break. And I think that was one of the best teachings I ever got. Be kind to yourself, because we beat ourselves up ordinarily.
And I think I've said that in a workshop, is that if Emily was having a hard time and she like called me and said, Meg, I'm having a really hard time, I need someone to lean on. And I'd be like, Emily, get it together. You are really struggling and you just need to put on your big girl panties and right. Like I would never say that to her ever. But who do we say it to? Ourselves often. We give ourselves the least amount of breaks. So we have to treat ourselves like we would treat someone we care and love, right?
So I do have handouts on this. So if I'll put my email address if you want, curious, I can send it out. But I think the hardest part of this and the part I like the most is receiving that caring moment. Was it easy for everyone?
Mm-hmm. Kind of, sort of.
So I went to a place, there's sometimes that I text my husband and just say, I had this overwhelming urge to just tell you I love you. And I never hear from him because he's really bad at text messages. Or sometimes I get the K, not the OK, but just the K. And I'm like, dude. But I know what my body feels like when I get that overwhelming urge to text him or call him and tell him. So that's what I tried to call upon when you said, feel that. So I tried to feel, that's how I tried to get my body to feel.
And it really is this, we call this practice because it, like anything else, whether you're practicing a sport or an instrument or art, drawing, you really have to do this over and over again, because the more you do it, the bigger effects it has on your life. So So relaxation could cry those squirrels when you're going to bed. Sorry, I still have those squirrels. As soon as I can be dead to the world on the sofa, and
Oh,
then to walk to my bedroom, which is not
they're
even 10 feet,
marathons. They do a marathon in your head once you get to bed.
and then once in bed, I'm wide awake.
Uh-huh. Every single night.
So
So you would
and
think like go to bed at 8:30, right? When you fall asleep on the couch? It's never going to happen.
so it's in practices like that, and I mean, I can lead the next one. I'll do a letting be practice, which I find useful for those squirrels
Oh, okay.
to be really present. But the meditation, the second one I led, I find I've heard a lot of testimonials that, wow, this really works. Or, I mean, and we hear the gamut. I don't have anyone that loves me. I don't have a benefactor. Well,
Hope you have one.
I know. So hopefully in the next week, you're going to start noticing benefactors and benefacting moments. You know, people just being nice to you. A smile while you're going down the row in the grocery store. You
As long as
know,
you're going the right way, Dawn. We have
well,
arrows in my
wait a
grocery
minute.
store.
Right now, you probably wouldn't see the smile if they're wearing a
Mask. Well,
mask
their eyes would smile, but if you're going down, like
the
if you're
wrong
going
way.
down and you're supposed to be going up, you're not getting smiles. Mouth or eyes. People are mad at you.
I'm the
You're
one
not
that,
wearing a mask, they're mad at you too.
yeah. I see. I leave the cart at the end of the aisle and walk down.
Oh, look at you, fancy pants.
I'm the even more annoying. But that's number one. And then receiving can be tough. I think Maria was that's where we get that, yeah, I don't know. Because the mind will kind of kick in and say, I don't deserve love. I don't deserve to be cared for. And that, the older we get, I think that becomes a pattern. Because again, that's that criticizing body that comes with us. And I've been practicing, this is awful. A bunch of the meditation teachers, the FAC teachers got together. And Lama John came out with this. John came out with this in 2001. So we've been doing this for almost 20 years. And we were his guinea pigs. And it's probably one of the best things that ever saved me because it affects every part of my life. It saved my marriage because we were about to get divorced. It also makes me think about my students differently. I have always had high risk students.
Yeah,
So,
with low skills on probably how to self-regulate, right?
Right. And a lot of behavior issues. Not
I
maybe.
hear you on that.
And they've just had deficits otherwhere. A lot of family problems, issues, no parents at home, drugs, alcohol.
And that's what we're going to get back to, right? In whenever we get back to school, we're going back to that.
Right. So the one thing and we'll get to this in later issues, is it gets to see people as people and wanting and needing the same thing we do. We all want to be loved. We all want to be cared for. We all want to be seen.
Well, it's essential, right? Humans need that essentially, just because
Right.
you're born human.
Right, and that's part of your Maslow class.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So we want to be seen. We want to be loved.
This is one strategy to get there. Got to put your brain in that spot.
And it brings us back to understanding that it's already here. We just covered it with mud. We just need to clean it off and see, oh, it's already here.
Right. And
I am good. You are good. You have a caring nature. You could be, this is the phrase I liked from one of the teachers, even Hitler had a dog.
Oh.
So at some moment, he was kind too.
Yeah, right, to somebody. All right, well, it's past, so I don't want to keep anybody too long. We have this again next week on Tuesday. I think it's 2:30 to 3:30.
Yes.
And next week, because I have something till 2, I don't know. I had to change the time, half hour. And I will send everybody a certificate. If you don't need it, you can, I don't know, throw it away or do whatever. And Dan, Don, can I just put your
My email?
email in there?
Yep.
Can you say one handouts? I know your school email. And
Well,
then,
here, I'm going to give you a different one in here.
oh, geez,
Oh, that's right. You used the school one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's the one I use. Can they use it too?
Yeah, you can use it. It's not. This is also for. Dun, 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 dun.
We have the chat.
Yeah,
You can just email it to me and I can email it out too.
if I could type right.
Oh, right. Always when you want to. When you have to.
It's just
There we go.
drbelanger62@gmail.com.
Belanger 6.
People look at it and say Dr. Belanger.
Hey, whatever. That's not a bad thing. I think I'm gonna call myself Dr. Meg. Imagine. Or SQ. SQ Meg.
So,
Girl Meg instead.
Next week will be kind of the same, but more.
Okay.
So we'll probably do that loving meditation a little more and give us a little more time than the 20 minutes. You can feel a little more difference, hopefully. If you go on to the FAC, the Foundation for Active Compassion, they're also recorded sessions with my teacher.
Okay.
He's doing a free class, and it's on that website.
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
Or you can go on if you want more of this at 11:30 Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Go on to the FAC site. The Zoom ID is there for me.
Okay, and our homework kind of is just trying to feel and see those people, those benefactors in your life, and see if you can, right, that they'll. Oh, Kristen, I think you have a benefactor right next to you. Look at. Oh, look at.
I like the stance.
Like a statue. It's like, look at me. I'm the cutest thing. Is it a boy or girl? Oh, you could have just kept going. I would have seen its parts, and then I would have.
You the boy.
The boy. My dog's right here too. So yes. So our homework is to try to find who our benefactors are in life, so we can call upon them and find certain circumstances. I would think where you feel that love or caring.
This exercise and this practice is really good. And what I do is just on the spot, the moment, just receive. If you're a little out of sorts, or you just have a moment, like at the red light, just receive from your benefactor.
Right. Instead of getting mad. I hate red lights.
Instead of getting mad, just use it in that way. And then we'll talk about other things that come up, and hopefully we'll share a little more of our reactions.
Next time.
Okay,
so everybody have a good what day is it? Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? Everybody have a good Tuesday. And what am I doing? Who knows what I'm doing? So tomorrow I do environments, the 4 aspects of environments, and tomorrow night I have a question and answer session. So share that with parents and teachers. So if you have a kid that you don't know what to do with, that one is not recorded because for privacy and so everybody can feel safe sharing their concerns. And then on Thursday I have creating a yes environment. So it's different from the regular environment class. We say no a lot, and how can we change our no to yeses? So kids, it's basically sharing power and control with kids. So I hope to see you tomorrow or Thursday, and have a great Tuesday.
Great, thank you.
Bye. Everyone.
Hey, Meg.
Bye, thank you. Thank you, John. That was great.
Care. Thank you.
Thank you.
I signed up for your environment and the yes one.
Okay.
But I haven't received anything yet, so I don't know if Barbara sent it out.
No, Barbara doesn't send it out till like the day of.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll send it to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Went well?
Yeah, it went great.
For you too?
Yes.
Did it work for Brendan?
Brendan, because I can't take the headphones off, so he couldn't hear me. I gotta figure that out next time.
I'm kind of curious on, he's got me thinking about, that over emotional stance when his benefactor arrives.
Right. I said, "Bud, we're going to do that mindfulness." He goes, "The one where I cried, Mummy?"